G'day everyone, just going to go through this meeting for, was it Randwick on the 22nd. Bear with me if I lose the plot a bit, it's been a bit of a weird day. We lost a good human today. Anyone who's in the chat, Trigger was his name in there, but Damien, unfortunately, he's gone over in Thailand, so we battle on without him. So talk about the bias first up. A little bit different this week. So the off speed, so the short course races, the shoot races were all off speed, and 5 to 8 off the inside looked like a certain advantage. The inside was definitely off. The longer races, so races 1400 past 1400, so a mile and further, it was similar, as in, sorry, I'm just going to get it up to make sure I don't muck it up. 4 to 8 off as well, and the inside was off in the straight, but you didn't have to be as far off pace as you were for the shoot races. Not really sure what that was. Obviously, the inside was not great. There weren't too many fast run or slow run races until the last couple. It was a bit of a dawdly day of even tempos. Probably 4 of the last 6 were slow tempos. So that makes it even more strange that the fence wasn't sort of on pace and near the speed wasn't the place to be. Race 1. So Silent Impact got home here. Actually, an even run race. Looked like they went a bit quicker than they actually did here, and
through the fixed odds, catcher goes in, and we're just about right.
A couple of weird things sort of happened. I think it will be a decent race to follow the form out of.
Anticipated the start well, but there's Capital Rain showing plenty of zip. And Capital Rain will lead comfortably from Moradana.
So it was interesting to see Silent Impact. I expected to sort of hold this spot. Moradana showed a bit more form than speed than I thought it would. Quick tempo probably a little bit less. Subterranean a bit more. So it was strange to see Silent Impact back behind Subterranean. The horse to watch as well is the Spellcatcher, is it, or back in the field here last in the Australian Bloodstock colours. So Moradana runs off the track in the minute and puts the race into disarray to a certain degree. So this is Silent Impact getting to the outside. Horse to watch are these two.
Got 300 metres to run. Capital Range coming back to Moradana.
So Moradana goes wide. For whatever reason, Reece Jones is not looking to steer to the inside of it, and sort of don't know really what happens there. And Silent Impact just sort of builds his revs up and comes through the middle and wins. I doubt that Spellcatcher would have beaten him anyway. This horse is a pretty strong horse, and I think he would have fought him off, to be honest, but still very good effort resuming from this horse. Didn't hate the run from Subterranean back on the inside there, which certainly ended up being the worst ground. Capital Rain didn't do a bad job up in grade, up on speed. Even Quick Tempo didn't do a bad job, and all flying crazy. The sort of even tempo, pretty evenly graded horses. I think the winner's got the most upside over Further. He was probably the one, him and Subterranean, probably the two at the distance that were at least advantaged, and he was able to get the job done. Moradana, don't know what to do with him. Classy horse, but certainly got a few rats up there at the moment, and probably has to trial anyway. So from a form perspective going forward, I definitely think Capital Rain can be placed to suit it a little bit better than it was here. Next time around, Spellcatcher can be very dangerous in anything similar. Flying Crazy's got that record at the Kenzo. I'm not sure what to do with him, but he's sort of a get-back horse that needs a lot to go right, so he's probably one that is the least desirable of them, and Subterranean probably needs to get up in trip 2, Quick Tempo. I think he's going to be hard to place now, especially on Saturday grade, so he'll probably want to find something easier, maybe back on a Wednesday. Race 2 for the 2-year-olds, another race that was running pretty steady tempo. The first race they sort of went quick, so for the race overall was very solid, very strong. This race was run out slow and home, only steady, so not quite as strong.
Won this race last year. Now they're off and racing, and
at the start it was interesting to see these two horses go back. Is it Wild Calm and Emperor goes back as well. That sort of took the pace out of the race. Deep expectation dictates from that position. This horse didn't do a bad job. Density gets caught 3 wide the whole way. So these two drop out. Tommy gets really sleepy on Wild Calm. And then it sort of detaches from the back of the pack, and it's a slow tempo, so very difficult job for it. Emperor sort of only sprinted up for a furlong. This is Plimstock, certainly had its chance to beat Plimstock if it was stronger, but Plimstock's certainly very dominant over it late. Sir Artie drops out of the race, sort of unexplained, no explanation for it. And I did check the steward's report. I don't think there was anything in there either. From a future perspective, it's hard to knock the winner. It's hard to knock the winner. If this horse was going to win a race, it's probably this race. Deep Expectation can improve, but certainly had its chance here. Plimstock maintains runs probably stronger through the line than Emperor for sure, and this horse here, Wild Calm, is the one that can certainly improve going forward, as can the horse up the inside, who wasn't as strong as Wild Calm late, but did get back towards the worst part of the track in Fire and Ice. So he gets pushed back to the inside. Wild Calm looks like it was stiff, like sort of checks off heels there or shadows, I'm not sure, but just through the line here you can see it's sort of got reserves of energy that weren't used, and certainly very happy with itself. I think the winner was a sneaky good win too. So not a super duper strong race on paper, but I think the race was probably better than what the paper suggests. This race, the highway, they went out, race 3, they go out pretty quick and get home slow. There's a big incident just before the turn which knocks 2 or 3 runners out of the race, so very Just Cosmos handy together with Shorby. Not sure, sorry, about the level that this race is going to get to. So there's that incident there. We'll go back and watch it again. So this horse, Nash comes out, smashes the one in black. It smashes Shelby 66, who smashes upside. I think it's Just Cosmos, is it? The other one that got smashed. Bad check on the turn, so Shelby 66, Just Cosmos and upside were knocked out of the race. Shelby 66 doesn't do a bad job to continue to run on. This is all taking merit out of the race. This horse was first up, doesn't run the trip by the look of it, and sort of just whacked away the other leaders in the worst part of the track. And the winner's just got the dream run through. This horse sat 3 and 4 wide, no cover the whole way. So even though the time for the race is not that bad, I think there's upside in knocking the winner, in saying it was flattered. Just doesn't do a lot. This horse is going up and down the one spot. It's in the worst part of the track, and it's had the suck run the whole way. So I'm against Markle Dancer there, even though it was, I think, first up. And that's always a little bit dangerous, but I just think from a future perspective, being negative towards that winner is probably the right answer. This was a funny one, 100-to-1 winner that I can't find any fluke about it. A room number, sorry, there was nothing else out of that highway. The only horse that was a bit of a sneaky run was Al Baez, who was just given a horrible ride, a similar ride to Tommy Berry in the 2-year-old, where it just detached from the field, and basically the rider looked like he got his laps mixed up and should have finished a lot closer than what it did.
Now for race 4. Gates are back, they're off and racing, and Zuda Moon ridden.
So room number here is the horse that Barbara Joseph horse back on the inside. And we danced every possible chance again. Fleetwood Mac every chance. Sir Lemur comes back and up the inside, not too bad, but it sort of peaked late anyway. She's all in every chance. Awesome Choice back and wide and only got going late. Arctic Thunder just about hit the front and died in the backside the last bit. Meg never got into the hunt after being dragged out of the race early, and Zuda Moon leads and knocks up. Nothing really too exciting about this race, but I sort of thought there'd be a bit more negative towards this horse, but did have every chance, got to the right part of the track, a room to remember, but certainly has its chance. And so does everything else. Sir Lemur's the only one that's sort of backing on the inside here, and this horse gets home okay, but it's just a bit of a nothing race. Not much to be learnt there, I don't think, and I don't know how that form is going to hold up. I think those horses will probably go up, down, around in all sorts of races. These horses are going to end up probably easier. They all need to win. Race 5, what do we got? We've got a really slow run race here. White Boots wins, Mr. Bond. Not a bad effort, I didn't think. Just sort of made a wide run, maybe needed this run, and probably peaks next start. Behind it, not too exciting. Viren stays on the inside there, and not a bad effort, I guess, but Viren doesn't like to win. So another race where there's a bit of take-turn races and take-turn horses, and White Boot certainly had the right run. Ends up 1 out, 1 back.
Many riders want the front, and ultimately outside. Then Canyonero from Serenade travelling strongly inside Mr. Bond.
Yeah, White Boots finishes, is in the 1-1 here.
Canyonero, Time Raid and Brown Thomas a dozen lengths off the ball. At the 750 metres, Viren in front by a half length to main stage. Then Real Peace from White
drops anchor and sort of they come around it here. Not a bad ride really on Mr. Bond. I think it was just a run short. Really took off at the right time when the speed comes out of the race, and White Boots sort of get stuck in behind. He probably would have been a good thing beat if he doesn't get out late and run down Mr. Bond, who probably labours that last bit. Just got to the front a bit early and probably needed the run. As said, Viren back on the inside there, just in the wrong part of the track. Main stage every chance, even though it was outside leader, and Jungle Book just keeps running on, as does Dream Maiden, who was in the best part of the track. So these horses are all, so you see, bunched and take turn horses. Whoever gets the right one tends to win. Tends to win once they're up and hard fit, and that's probably Mr. Bond will be in that category next start. The next race, a pretty slow run race. Too much to bear. Nabs a stablemate on the line. Didn't mind the run of Carp Fever back on the inside. If it struck a wet track next start, I'd be really interested in him. I think he's probably ready to peak. He sort of charged through the line there in the slower part of the track. They all find their positions pretty early and not a lot happens, so Wicked's out late. Desert Icon sits outside the leader every possible, too much to bear, Carp Fever behind it, pretty much every possible, comes up the inside, and nothing else really does anything in the race. So I'll fast forward. Desert Icon looks all over a winner, too much to bear, looks like it's not going to do a lot. This is Carp Fever back on the inside.
Desert Icon puts the head in front now from So Wicked.
The rest don't do a lot.
Icon gains the upper hand. Too much to bear. Is running on powerfully at the end. Desert Icon's all out. Too much to bear.
Just thought he's a horse who probably needs a bit longer, and a little bit of a slow tempo wouldn't have helped him. Carp Fever. The winner certainly just kept coming. It's hard to really knock it, but it certainly had every possible chance. It's got no real acceleration now, which is really weird considering the run it produced first up. But obviously that was the fresh run, and since then it's certainly gone far more one-paced and really tough to get a handle on, to be honest. But yeah, the first 3 across the line are probably the ones. If you're talking 2,000 metres, I think Greek Hero has to go back in distance. Lord Belvedere can improve. Slow tempo and getting back there certainly didn't help it, and it should be ready next start too. Race 7, this is not a bad race. They go out pretty even, come home pretty even. The winner's nice and strong through the line, and was set up to win here. I'm dirty with myself that I didn't trust the horse, even though I thought it was going to be in a bad spot. The way the track was, I probably should have chimed in with this horse. Shadow Crush is it back second last. They all kind of have their chance in the run here. A weird ride again. This Rhys Jones, I'm sick of riding weird ride every time he rides a horse. He just watch this. This is just weird. So he's back, dragged it out of the race, tailed off. Where's he trying to go? I don't know where he's trying to go. He's got a line of 4 there. He's got a horse that's well in the market that he could have tracked up. He runs straight up their backsides, loses all momentum, and then has to check off heels here to get around the back of Shadow Crush. And again, see, so this horse has got full head of steam up, pretty strong horse. This thing's now got to try and build its momentum back up and chase it. Never going to happen. definitely should have run second. Don't think it would have beaten the winner. Winner really built through the line there, and I really liked its last 2 runs. I think it can continue to keep winning, especially if it draws a gate. It hasn't drawn a gate anywhere. It definitely had conditions to suit there, as in it had a pretty solid tempo, and down the middle of the track was the place to be. But just really loved. I'm just going to go back and watch it because it's worth watching. So the last 200, the last 100, the last 50, this horse is getting stronger. So it's a bit sneaky too. So it's a horse that could probably be missed. You can see there it's just even surged again with 50 to go, and when it looks like it's probably going to win by a neck or a half a length, it's put a length and a half on that horse in second, and look at it through the line, like nice and strong. Going really well, that horse, Shadow Crush. Broken Arrows ran okay. As I said, it was a bit of a bad ride. Selena Dreaming was first up, certainly can forgive it. Nicolette Beagle pulled up lane, can forgive it. The rest, Samu who just keeps finding excuse after excuse. I've had enough of Samu. Race 8. Another race that was really steady tempo. I liked Purple Sector here. I knew that there was some chance he'd be 1 pace coming back, but I still thought with the run he had, especially here, he'd at least get to the front and prove very difficult to run down. He didn't even do that, so he was disappointing for mine, but certainly looks like he's looking for 2,000 metres. Trying to find excuses for other runners. There weren't too many that I could find. Steely, no. Invinciano, I thought ran really well. It's probably the one in the race that it surprised me a little bit. True Detective, not in the right spot, bit of a funny ride through the cracks, a victim of its racing pattern, and went okay. Have a quick look at it.
Ready now, and they're off. Charm Me Baby was last out of the gates, and Prime Candidate given a real dig.
Prime Candidate gets to the front easily. Invinciano's the one working up out wide. They are running along okay, so this horse has done a good job. Sit outside the leader. Not a lot happens. True Detective's behind the leader. Purple Sector's the one here. Every possible. Winner's tracking it everywhere, and just far superior turn of foot.
From Invinciano and Petronius.
So what I like about Invinciano here is it sat outside Prime Candidate, who's a hard fit horse, going really well, fast tempo. He's been able to get past it. And in front with 200 to go. In front with 100 to go. And runs like 6th. And is not stopping. Just sort of got a little bit tired, I think. It just, and it's only a 1 pace sort of horse, so I thought its effort was really good. The one up the inside was a good effort. Is it No Compromise? It was a good effort in the wrong part there, and so was True Detective after it was forced to go back to that inside. Ziegfeld okay, Steely okay, past Mark Invinciano. As I said, it was probably the one to follow out of the race that you may get some odds about next start. That's about it. Just a good run from the winner. Purple Sector needs further. Through the cracks, needs to draw a gate, and No Compromise probably goes up in distance as well. Race 9. Heck of a win this for a horse that's got a weird record. Obviously needs the firmer track by the look of it.
We're ready now. Was last out of the gates, and
take him back from the gate and allowed to settle. They absolutely walk here. Canasta gets full control of the race, just to punish that the horse can't get off the fence, or it probably would have won. It just refuses to leave the rail. The horse Capacity's the one caught wide. Didn't think its effort was too bad, but on reflection, a pretty slowly run race. It's not as good a run as it probably would have been, and down the middle of the track was certainly the place to be, but was a run short and probably will be ready next start. But still, I would have liked to see it doing something similar to Invinciano, being up here and hitting the front and then tiring, rather than sort of getting within a length or two and not holding on. Batigue is going disgracefully. Didn't mind. Is this Count Monte Cristo? Not a bad effort. I thought it sort of got held up. King Rattel can go back in grade and run really well. And the Keen sneaks through, and I think it runs like the fastest last 8, 6 and 4 of the day or something. It's a really strong effort. When it slices through, he does something that no one else does in the race. The last 200 metres really hits the line with a bit of gusto, and it seems one of those horses that you sort of need to kid to it a little bit. It needs to be exposed really late and charge at the line. There's a few good horses that are a bit like that, but you know, when they get it right, this horse is pretty hard to beat in most races, and it's going quite well. Poor old Canasta just can't win one. King's Air sits outside leader, does a good job. Criminal Code ran on okay, but Count on Monte Cristo is sort of in restricted room here. I thought it probably went a little bit better than it looked, and I didn't mind the run of King Rattel, who was just getting wound up and obviously needs further. The last is another really slowly run race. The winner hits the line powerfully late and sort of threatened to do that last start and just knocked up and probably needed the run. And no surprise to see it that little bit closer. Pinged the gates here and had the nice run in transit. Cafe Royale was quite disappointing after leading up in really slow time. Warrior Fall sits outside leader every chance, basically. Yukon every possible. Omudji just pace affected and gets home okay. Badouche average, Paper Warrior average, Iron Vinny average, Trajection average. More Sundays I think pulled up with an issue, but average, and the rest average. So I think the winner is probably the one. Warrior Falls is busting to win a race as well. Probably just needs a bit of cover, and it can win. It was exposed here a little bit early and hits the front really early. Basically looked the winner until Bring the Ransom gets off its heels late and is quite dominant the last bit, but certainly Warrior Falls did more work in the run, there's no doubt about that, and marginally better part of the track too for the winner, Bring the Ransom, but a Yukon was pretty one-paced in every possible chance. I think the first two are the two to follow out of the race for sure.
Ransom the only danger. Falls in front of Bring the Ransom. Falls.
Omudji's obviously going really well too. Backed up that good effort to run down Canasta with another solid effort there. It was just a matter of being that extra pair back in the race that cost it. That's about it, guys. These meetings are pretty average. They're full of runners that take turns runners, and they'll probably continue to do similar things. Just try and highlight the ones that are going well, ones that are flattered, and hopefully some good horses will come back into the fold over the next few weeks. I know there's some good 2-year-old races, and listed race tomorrow for Australia Day, and we've got all the lead up 2-year-olds starting English Millennium Day next Saturday week. So bear with me. I'm just trying to battle through this period of pretty ordinary horses. We've got some nicer horses to work with. These sorts of horses will be going back to Wednesday grade, and they're much easier to deal when they're racing their own type than these take turns, benchmark 70 sort of races. So hopefully there's some stuff you can pick up there, and thank you, and talk to you all soon.